Hello YouTube, my name's Dominik and I'm part of Team Purple Ace, and today I'm going to show you a full in-depth guide of Mannadium, which in my opinion is going to be a strong contender for tier 1 in the next format. So next format going to be Post DUNE Nexus. And if you want to see how I'm going to achieve this crazy endboard with Calamity in the opponent's turn, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'm going to show you how to do it. This is a Post DUNE Nexus combo obviously, and yeah, I'm going to show you some basic combos for the current format, some variations, some stuff you can do, and also how you play around certain hand traps. Again, it's a combo deck, so one card that a lot of people are fearing is Nibiru, and this deck has actually a really good time against this card.
And now shout out to our sponsor. The first one is GRAAD, the best grading company in Europe, based in PIANETA hobby in Milano. The second one, CARDTRADER, the online marketplace platform where you'll find the cards you need at market price in one shipment only. Create your account using the link right here. Third one, Game to Collect, is one of the top Italian sellers on the market, specializing in American high rarity cards, GOAT format and misprints. They also collect your cards for up to 85% of their value. Next one is Magician's Circle, a local store based in Trieste, specialized in sealed and custom products. They also host events for all TCGs. After that we got Cards Corp, another local store based in Pietra Ligure, Liguria's best shop to buy singles and play Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. Then we have GAMERLAND, local store based in ABBIATEGRASso, Lombardia's best shop to buy singles, sealed and play weekly tournaments. Then we have CHAPA'S Playmats. They produce amazing custom playmats that may have your own images on them. Last but not least, we have Dragon Ink. They produce our official PH jerseys and cloth mats. All the links are in the description down below, so don't forget to check them out.
So the very first combo is going to be just a very standard combo on what you can do in the current format. It just starts with Meek and Riumhard, two of your best 2-card starters. And let's get into this. So we're going to normal sum Meek and use the effect of Riumhard. So I played this deck at German Nets and at the European Championship, and some people ask me why I'm going to start my turn with Meek and not with Riumhard. So if you are able to play around Nibiru, which you can actually do with this combo, you can start with Riumhard, special summon Meek. But I chose to do this sometimes, you don't have to do this, to chain block the effects because they trigger at the same time and assure that I'm gonna get at least one of the effects. So that's one way to play around stuff like Ash and things like this, which is a very prominent hand trap. So we're gonna use Riumhard, special summon another Meek and use the effect. So now this Meek is going to be a level 4, but it doesn't matter because we're just gonna use Obsession, pop it, search all planet. And now Meek is going to trigger again because the summon from deck is not a once per turn. I'm going to summon the next Meek, and here I put the counters to show that it's level 4. And we're going to go into Excel Synchro Starter Strength. So I'm going to tell you why I'm going to use this card and keep it on the board for as long as possible in one of the next combo videos. But yeah, this card is insane and makes this deck so much better. So we're going to revive the Meek. And now we're going to go into Calarium. So depending on your hand, if you have any other extenders, you can just go into Baron right here and play. Because we have the Obsession in hand and Calarium is going to search our Visa Starfrost and we can keep on going from there. But yeah, as long as we didn't get ashed right here, we are not worrying about that card. So Planet is free to activate, search the Starfrost. So now we're going to use Starfrost, pop the Meek, and now we're going to get another value out of the field spell, because whenever Tuner is popped or destroyed by battle, we can use them and reborn. So we have another free Meek, and we have Starfrost summoned for free. You can also use Obsession, banish it, and summon this one from hand. But now we're going to have Obsession engrave for the next turn if we draw, I don't know, Rykard, Riumhard, another Starfrost, and can play like this. So now what we're going to do is link into Lightheart. Lightheart is going to search our Rykphobia. Rykphobia obviously searches Scarecrow Rykard. And at this stage we're going to summon it adjacent to a zone of a link monster. And we have 3 cards in depth, so now we're actually going to get a draw 1 in addition to the search of the Scarecrow spell trap. Which is pretty good in my opinion, it's pretty fine. So we're going to draw just the Impermanence, it's irrelevant. We're going to go into Cross Sheep. And here's one thing you can change up. You can banish your Riumhard or banish your Rykard. Most likely you should go for Realm Heart. I just did it to showcase the combo now with the Rykard. Cross Sheep is going to trigger. We're going to resummon Meek. And now we can go with these two into Baron the Fleur. Now the rest of our combo is protected by a Nomni negate. We're going to now use Disparter to resummon Starfrost. And we're going to use Lightheart to resummon it because we control Starfrost. And use these 3 cards to go into an Appaloosa with 3 materials. So in this instance, we're going to end our turn with 5 cards in hand. We have a rival, we have a draw 1, it's follow up, it's pretty good. We have 3 monster negates, we have Disparter, which can be safely a pop, but if our opponent has anything banished, it's also a negate. You can choose whatever effect you want to use. And we have Baron as an Omni negate. So this is pretty good, it's a pretty standard combo, and it's already shown that the deck is capable of doing insane things. So I already mentioned that this deck can play around Nibiru very well, even with a not so good hand. So I'm gonna use Realm Heart and Starfrost in this instance, and you can achieve the same thing with everything else. But this is actually one of the worst starting hands, because we're not going to have immediate access to our planet and stuff like this. You just need Realm Heart and access in any way, sort of form, to Starfrost to play through Nibiru. So we're gonna use Mannadium Realm Heart to search any Mannadium card, in this instance Meek, because it's the best tuner we have right now. We're gonna special summon it and use our Starfrost to pop it. Keep in mind, Starfrost is summon number 3. Now Meek is going to be summon number 4. And now this Meek is going to be level 4, and we're going to use these to go into Stardust Dragon. Stardust Dragon is our 5th summon. Now, if you are sure your opponent only has these 2 cards to play, nip them at this point. But since Access Synchro Stardust Dragon is a trigger on summon, and a lot of people will wait until you summon the tuner to get more value out of the Nibiru, to get more monsters off the board. And this is actually a mistake, okay? Because if you only have these 2 cards to play, like Realm Heart, Starfrost, your turn stops right here. But since Stardust Dragon is summoning on summon number 5, and we can revive the Meek right now. So this is the 6th summon. And this is totally fine, because if they nib us right here, I'm going to show you how to do the full combo even after Nibiru at this stage. So we assume they have Nibiru, and we're gonna chain Stardust Dragon. This is the reason why we still play the OG Stardust Dragon. We're gonna synchro into Disparter, and I put it right here because we're gonna play in this zone later on for Cross Sheep. So now, because we use the Stardust Dragon, it makes our monsters unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, and it survives the Nibiru Tribute. So Starfrost is gone, and now we have the tuner. And the question is, how do we extend from here to achieve the same endboard? Well, first of all, we can use Starfrost and Realm Heart to go into Astrolaut. In this instance, if you're playing against Kashtira, you can keep the Nibiru on board. Or if you're playing against something that needs to have 3 monster zones, just leave it. But I'm gonna use the effect to pop the Nibiru. And now we can use Disparter and resummon the Starfrost. And at this stage, you already win, because now you have your full Scareclaw combo live, which is just another part of the combo. Now we have Rykard. Rykard again searches the Arrival, which is Reborn for Scareclaw and Starfrost. And we're going to use the token and Lightheart to go into Cross Sheep. Now remember, the monster you summon in the zone of Cross Sheep is not the one that looks out for the effect of Cross Sheep. If you have Vicious Astrolaut pointing towards Cross Sheep and you summon another monster in this zone, it will get the revive effect because it's pointing towards a fusion monster. So now we're gonna use this, revive our Starfrost, trigger Cross Sheep, and resummon Meek. And you already see where this is going. So now we're gonna go into Baron, and we have 3 monsters on board. We have the Lightheart effect engraved. Now you can choose to keep it engraved to have a 3 material Appaloosa, because it's a once per duel effect. So if you want to use it later on, you just leave it engraved, go for Apple for 3, and you're totally fine. Then I'm gonna use it, and now I'm gonna summon Appaloosa with 4 materials through Nibiru. And this shows that Nibiru is not a good card against Mannadium if not used right. Even after Post DUNE Nexus, it's even worse because your 5th summon is going to be Appaloosa. Alright, going on to the next combo. So the first combos I showed you what you can do with opening Meek or some form into Meek. But we also have this other one, Fearless, which is definitely one of the worst tuners this deck has. And a lot of people actually cut this card from the pure versions or the mixture with Scareclaw. I think only with the heavier Scareclaw lineup this card is worth to play, because this one plus any of the level 3 Scareclaw monsters is going to be Naturia Beast, and Naturia Beast is always a good card. But you think maybe we are not able to achieve the same endboard just like before, but I'm going to show you we can still do it and get an extra draw from it. So in this case I'm going to start again with Fearless, and we're going to use Realm Heart to pop and search plus special summon. Okay, so this is not getting a level modifier, it's still level 2, but that's fine because now we're going to search Obsession. Obsession pop, we search the Calarium, and Fearless triggers again. Alright, so in this instance you don't have to start with Fearless. It's again like jam blocking the Realm Heart effect, which is very important to play to get this effect. So it's only getting stopped from Vela, Imperm, stuff like this. And yeah, most prominent hand trap right now are Ash and Imperm. If you chose to play around Ash, you do it in this order. If you choose to play around Imperm, it's a little bit harder because Imperm is actually good against this deck. So Calarium searches now our Starfrost, and we have the Obsession Engrave. Okay, we don't get use the Obsession. Okay, we leave it in there. We can use it, it doesn't matter. But we can get the Calarium effect to reborn the Fearless. Basically, you don't need it. You can just use Obsession, summon Starfrost. This plays a little bit more into Nibiru, but I just wanted to get value out of this Calarium. Alright, so now we're going to do our standard Scareclaw stuff. Well, thinking about this, it doesn't actually matter. It's pretty bad to use it. Just use Obsession to special summon the Starfrost. And now we're going to use Reichphobia, Scareclaw, Rykard, and we do the same as before. We're going to search, and we're going to draw a card because of Rykard, and we have 3 monsters in defense. Just using the Imperm as a placeholder. And now we're just doing the same stuff as before. We're going to Cross Sheep, we're going to Astrolaut, we're going to Reborn, and we're going to go into Stardust Charge Warrior. So this replay happened a little bit earlier, before Battles of Legend. We didn't have Tri-Edge Master. Right now I would definitely play Tri-Edge Master over Charge Warrior. Yes, it can attack multiple special summon monsters your opponent controls, blah 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 blah. It's one upside this card has, but actually I like the Tri-Edge Master more because it's a light target and a level 6 card. So Rykard and the Tri-Edge Master is going to be a Chaos Angel with both protection effects. So this should be the Tri-Edge Master for now. So we get the second draw, which is in this case just just put the second Imperm here. Now we're gonna link synchro these off into Stardust Dragon. Obviously with Fearless it's a bad start. You're gonna use it later on. We're gonna reborn the Fearless, and now we're gonna go into Disparter. Obviously plays more into hand traps, but it's a bad opening hand. We try to make the best of it. So now we're gonna use Disparter, and yeah, you can see I told you in the last replay, it's best always to go for Realm Heart, Banish, and not the Rykard. So you have your rival life for the Rykard. So it just swap these cards, and now gonna resummon the Starfrost. And you're gonna ask how I'm going to go into Baron. We don't have any actual summons right now. So we're gonna use these 3 to go into Appaloosa with 3 materials. We use Arrival, go into Rykard, and now we have a level 6 tuner, a level 4 monster, and this can either be Chaos Angel with both protective effects, or like in this instance I'm gonna go into Baron. So we have again Appaloosa for 3, Baron and Disparter, and draw 2 plus 3 other cards in hand, so we still end our turn on 5 cards in hand. and this is with a pretty bad hand. So as long as you are able to play a little bit, you can achieve this end board even with a bad hand. Okay, so for now I showed you very standard combos, very standard stuff, what you can do with the deck. But right now this is showing what the deck is capable of if you're opening a godlike hand. Okay, you don't open this every time, it's just an option, it's not even the best option out there. But I just wanted to show you because I think that this end board is pretty hard to break, and I really like the engines that you play in this. So I'm going to show you the God hand, which is Calarium, Rheumheart, and Meek. And I'm going to show you what you can do with this. So we're going to start off by Calarium. I'm going to search our Starfrost. So now we're going to use again Meek, Rheumheart, and in this case we can actually use Calarium. And in this instance, even if I fear Nibiru, I still go into this because we can chain block both Meek and Rheumheart, which gives a lot of value, and the only hand trap that can then be thrown is Ghost Spell or Ghost Ogre for the field spell, and they're not really relevant right now, so I think this is a really good option to play or start your turn. So we have Rheumheart 1, Meek 2, and Calarium 3. So we get the Reborn, we get the Summon from deck, and we get the Search for Obsession. Now this is really good because we started with our Calarium. We can use Obsession to search another card because it says target one monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, add the planet. Or if you control the planet, you can add one Mannadium spell trap instead. So we are controlling the Calarium, and that's why we can now use Obsession to search something else. But in this instance, I still use Excess Stardust as a summon, and this is at this stage Nibiru protected, because even if they chain Nibiru on the summon of Synchro Stardust Dragon, you can just take it out, use Stardust Dragon and Meek to go into Bystial Disparter, do the same plays as before, and we get the on summon trigger to use our Obsession. So this combo is just insane. Now we're gonna use the Obsession, pop it, and we're gonna get the Meek effect to summon from deck. And in this instance, I'm going to show you how what happens if you use the Obsession. You're going to keep the monsters on board because neither Calarium nor Meek is live. We have all three Meeks in rotation, and Calarium already used its effect. So we use Obsession to special visas from hand, and now we're going to do our Scareclaw part. This is like exactly the same as before. We just have one extra monster on board, get the draw, get the search, and I messed up this order, but it's fine. So yeah, so now Lightheart searches Reichphobia searches Rykard, and we get the rival, plus the draw, which in this case was a Magnamoot. We're not even gonna use it. So I just pushed the Meek one zone up here because I need one of the outer zones for Cross Sheep, which is going to be the next play. Gonna go into Astrolaut, and we're gonna use Cross Sheep. We have all three Meeks on board, which is, I don't know, I like this side. Now we have our Baron live, we have our Disparter live, and at this stage you see we have the counter trap, which is already better than before because we don't lose to Dark Ruler, and we already have our rival, so we can even extend more. So we're gonna reborn the Rykard, and yeah, I'm gonna just show you. So we use Disparter, we go with these two into Muddy Mud Dragon. This is something I played at GAMERLAND, this combo, and I really liked it. Just at the end I switched some things up, and I'm gonna explain why. So we're gonna use Mud Dragon effect to fuse into Albion, the Branded Dragon. So we have one light monster, which is the Starfrost. We have Fallen of Albas substituted via the Mud Dragon. Alright, so on summon, Albion uses its effect, and we're gonna use a random Dark or Light and the Mud Dragon. Because the Mud Dragon effect is to substitute to any card is also live in the graveyard. It doesn't need to be on field for that. So we can go into Granule, and Granule is sending the Lobelion. And the reason why I like this is because I'm allowed to main deck Bystials and have value from them, because first of all, the level 6 cards with any of the level 2 ball tuner stuff. You have your Excel starters on board, which is just insane in its own, on its own. And I personally expected to see more Despia and Dragonlink decks, so that's why I wanted to main deck the bystials. But we're gonna see what we can do. Now we're gonna have the Albion Engrave and the Lobelion on board. Keep in mind, if you choose to run the Assault Synchron from Battles of Legend, you are now able to trigger it, revive the Albion, and go even further beyond. So there's just a lot of stuff you can do. So we use Lobelion and we're setting the Regained. So Regained is interesting in 2 cases, because Visas, Riumhart, and Rykard are all light or dark monsters. So every time we go for Vicious Astrolaut, we have the Regained life to shuffle 1 back, keep our resources, draw another card. That's why I like this card a lot. Now we're gonna use 2 of them, go into Astrolaut, and this is something you can do, you are not forced to do, because a lot of people only play 2 Astrolaut, and this is where I personally changed things up in my final list for Germanettes, and that was not going for the Astrolaut right here. I used these cards to go into Appaloosa, so we have Disparter, Baron, Apple for 3, and we keep 1 Astrolaut in our graveyard, but this way we can get the Regained effect to draw 1 card also. So if you're digging for any cards, just go for it. If not, it's pretty much irrelevant. And at this stage, you can go for Appaloosa with 3 or 4 materials. You have 3 level 8 monsters on board, which is, I don't know, you can go into any rank 8. And this is what I show here in this combo, which is the Hope Harbinger, a standard approach for rank 8 monsters. And yeah, at this stage you're missing 1 card, 1 summon for the Appaloosa, and this is why I swapped out the Hope Harbinger for another card in my extra deck, because I just used these 4 cards in on field to go into Appaloosa, because then we have 4 monster negates on Appaloosa, we have Disparter, we have Baron, we have the Counter Trap, and we have the complete Bystial setup, because Albion in the graveyard is going to trigger to set our Branded Beast, and having Bystial Disparter on board makes this card live. So even if we tribute something like Disparter with Branded Beast, we can revive it with Branded Regained, and this is pretty cool. So we have like infinite grind with this combo, because Disparter just resummons everything we put up here in our banish zone. Beast and Regained are just shuffling back, popping cards from the enemy, and stuff like this. So it's something you can do. I like it. I played it. I had decent success with it. But yeah, going forward, I don't think it's the best version. It's just something I wanted to showcase. Now, let's get into the even more crazy stuff post Duelist Nexus, because this combo alone will be a reason, or one of the few reasons, I think Mannadium is going to be a pretty good deck in the next format, because it abuses a few of the new cards like no other deck can, alright? And this combo is just an auto win. If this combo actually goes through, I don't think there is a way you lose this duel. Like, my friend, this is an instant win. And it only needs Meek and Riumhart, and you have plenty of options to search them. And it actually is Nibiru proof, so even better. Let's start. Okay, we're gonna summon Riumhart. In this case, I'm actually going to normal summon it, just to play around Nibiru. So Riumhart searches our Obsession, and we're gonna special summon Meek. So we pop it with Obsession, we get our planet, and Meek is going to trigger, we get the next one. So keep in mind, this is summon number 3, alright? 3. We search the Starfrost with our planet, and now we have the Obsession engraved to freely special summon Starfrost. This is summon number 4. And you see we have a level 6 on board, we have a level 4 on board, and that equals one of the best synchros in the world, Baron. Yes, 5th summon, Baron with an auto win combo. I'm going to show you what is going to go on. Next step, we are banishing 2 cards from our graveyard. We go into Vicious Astrolaut. Astrolaut pops our Meek, and now we get the value from the field spell, and because we only used 2 Meeks up until now, we're gonna have 2 tuners on board, which is just insane. And I like this very much. So next up, we are going to go into the new Crimson Dragon. This card is crazy. The Meek that we used here is going to be level 4 because it came from deck, and Crimson Dragon is a level 12. So now we're gonna use Crimson Dragon effect, target Baron. We're gonna summon another level 10, which is Disparter. It's so I cannot wrap my thoughts around how good it is to freely summon Disparter after you already have Baron on board. It's so good. So we're going to go even further. So this is Starfrost resummon. Now think about how we want to extend this. Do we go into our Scarecrow lineup? No, I'm going to show you something better. Because I'll switch up the zones. Well, fuck me. We don't go into our Scarecrow lineup. Cut the last part. We're gonna go into our Scarecrow part now, because Lightheart searches Reichphobia, Reichphobia searches Reichardt. Now, adjacent to one of the zones, we're gonna special Reichardt. We have 4 monsters in depth. We get a search, we get a draw, always good. We have the arrival, and now we're gonna go into some misclicks. Fuck me. We're gonna go into Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep will have the Starfrost pointing towards it. And now, you see I just put 2 monsters away. Meek and Starfrost. And both of them are tuners. Like, am I linking? Am I linking them away? But it's going to help us. We're gonna synchro summon with 2 tuners, because the new Visas Amritara doesn't need a non-tuner. We can use our tuner Starfrost to synchro into this crazy card. This is insane. I don't know whatever Konami smoked, but this is way too good. So this card searches on summon. Synchro summon, you can add 1 spell trap that mentions Visa Starfrost from your deck to your hand. Boom, we get a counter trap for free. And also this card on the field, this card's name becomes Visa Starfrost while in the main monster zone. Actually another way into your Scarecrow combo. So now we want to get the value out of our Cross Sheep. We get the Synchro part, which is all monsters you currently control gain 700 attack. Bam. Boost. And we get the fusion effect to reborn stuff. Even better. So now we're gonna go Disparter, level 10, and Mannadium Meek into the Crimson Dragon. This card is really good. It's way too good for my opinion. And now we're gonna use a level 8 tuner and a level 8 non-tuner to go into a really good card. You're all gonna love this. It's going to be Bish Balkan. So what are we gonna do with this crazy card? So first of all, we get tokens from to our side and our opponent's side. And now we're gonna link all these 3 cards into Unchained Abomination. So in this combo we don't get Appaloosa on the end board. You can use the tokens to go into a generic link 2 or 2 generic link 1s, and I don't know. There is a way to go into Appaloosa, but Unchained Abomination has actually more value in this case, and I'm gonna tell you why. So with this setup, we have Crimson Dragon, Bish Balkan, Abomination, Fleur, and a counter trap. We're gonna pass over to opponent, and because this freaking card is a quick effect, it's a freaking quick effect, and our opponents draw a standby phase, we're gonna use Crimson Dragon, targeting the Bish Balkan, because this card's original level is always treated as 12. You know what other synchro is? Is synchro 12? Yes. Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend King, Calamity. This is way too good, because this whole combo adds, this play in your opponent's turn is protected by a counter trap. It's protected by a Baron. You get 3 beat sticks on board that are already game, and you have a King Calamity that just says you can activate this effect for the rest of this turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards Also, cards your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's effects activation. You're literally telling your opponent, my whole board is protected by a Baron with a Anomaly Negate and a Reframing as a counter trap, and you're not going to play this turn. So imagine your opponent just sets 5 cards. You're playing against, I don't know, True Draco or Eldritch, something like this. Even in this instance, you have Untitled Abomination to pop in the end phase one of these set cards. That's one gone. So in my turn, I still have Reframing as a counter trap to negate anything that comes. I have Baron for anything that comes. And because I have, okay, actually right now I don't have the Starfrost in my grave, but I can revive it very simply. We're gonna have Reframing, negate, and pop a card. We have Baron, pop a card, and negate. So Abomination takes out 1 card in the end phase. Then we have Baron, pop a card. We have Abomination, triggers, pop another card. That's 3 pops for 5 back row. And then you still have Reframing as another negate and Baron as another negate. So you basically, with this setup, even if your opponent just sets 5, you can get rid of every single one of them. And this is, in my opinion, my very humble opinion, very, very strong. And as you saw, the whole combo is protected during the turn by Baron, so your opponent needs at least to have 2 hand traps, and in their turn they're basically not allowed to play. And you get the draw 1. So this is crazy good. Alright, that's it from me. I hope you like this combo guide. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, like and subscribe to the channel for more competitive videos in the future. And I'm hoping I'm gonna be back on this channel again. And yeah, I wish you your best day. Be healthy, go out, do some sports. I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.